Today, let's take a short stroll through the purchase process. As I was preparing the script for this video, I found that some of the walkthrough notes bordered on advice. Well, since this video is made as if it's being explained to a buyer, you might think that it's somewhat slanted. That's because it is. Hello, this is Alfred Einstein with another Pockets of Specialized Knowledge video. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get on with it, shall we? Step number one, find a local real estate broker that you respect. Don't use your accountant's brother's roommate. See who has a history of being successful in the area that you like and interview them. The broker, once you pick them, will drive you around and you'll look at properties together.
The other children. Too fast, Bucky.
Step number two, the broker probably has a few mortgage brokers that they work with. Pick one of those guys and get pre-qualified. That way you nor the broker will be wasting your time. Step number three, find a property you like and that you can afford and make an offer. Prior to making an offer, do research on your seller. Are property taxes current? Are there any lawsuits pending? Are there any arrests pending? What you're looking for is anything that might be recorded in the public records that might be affecting the seller's motivation. Don't ask the broker to do this for you. Do it on your own. Step number four, write a contract. Your broker will take care of all that. All their contracts have been approved by the Bar Association in their state. So I don't believe it's necessary for you to have your attorney review it. However, in an abundance of caution, if you feel like it's necessary, go ahead and do that because you want to be as comfortable as you can because let's face it, this is a lot of money. When you make that offer less than the asking price. I can't tell you how much because I don't know how motivated the guy is, but don't offer full price. Deposit as little as possible. Use banking days instead of calendar days. Your broker's going to object, but this gives you more maneuverability and the ability to squeeze time out of nothing. For example, sit down and figure out how many banking days there are in a month and how many calendar days there are. And you'll see if you use banking days, you'll be gaining about a third of the month. You're going to get an extra 7 days, 8 days. This will also give you more days to deliver your unconditional mortgage approval, which is standard in the industry and goes right along with your mortgage contingency. Increase the seller's contribution towards lender-required repairs. If you go FHA, for example, FHA requires your houses, your screens all to be in place, your houses to be in otherwise good working order, your windows all have to work. Those are lender-required repairs. Make sure your contract identifies who's going to pay for lender-required repairs and make sure it's not you. Increase the number of days for your inspection contingency. Try to get as many days as you can. Generally, the contingency is going to be between 3 and 5 days to get it done and 5 to 7 days to return the results to everybody. Step number 5, upon contract acceptance, post your initial deposit. Try to keep it as small as possible. The broker and the seller are going to be pulling in the other direction. They want a giant deposit. So it's whatever you can negotiate, but that's the next thing that's going to happen. Step number 6, order your property inspections. There's probably a good chance that your broker has got some relationships with property inspectors. Let them give you a list of 3 and you can pick one. They'll be fine. Number 7, now before you got pre-qualified for your mortgage, but now you're going to actually make formal application for the mortgage. You're going to sit down with the mortgage broker. You're going to give them all the information about your bank accounts, about where you work, how long it's been, what you make, all that kind of stuff. Also, another tip, only make additional deposits as required for your mortgage approval. For example, if you're buying FHA, the most you're going to be expected to come out of your pocket is 3.5%. If it's VA, it's going to be less. So try not to make the deposit too large. It just gives you too much exposure in my mind. By the way, when I mention an event, that's happening behind the scene. When I happen steps, those are personally coordinated by you or your spouse. Event number 8, title will be ordered and a closing file will be opened. So the title company will do an abstract. They'll start making sure the title is clear and they'll take all the steps necessary to clear anything that needs to be so they can get it closed. Step number 9, once the inspection is complete, begin to negotiate their required property repairs.
I won't go schizo, will I?
It's a distinct possibility.
You won't, Probably not. But the seller may choose to go beyond the limitation clause in their contract. You'll just need to understand the seller's motivation to assess your chances. It's not a live or die thing. What was that quote from Wayne, the great Gretzky? You miss every shot you don't take. You might as well take a shot at it, right? So if the repairs come in a little bit higher than the seller's responsible for, take a shot and see if he'll do half. Maybe he'll do all of it, you don't know, but take a shot. Event number 10, once you're unconditionally approved for the mortgage, please notify all the parties. You can do this by email, just notifying your broker, but make sure they notify all the parties in the transaction. And if you live in the Atlantic coast, especially in Florida, order a 4-point inspection for the insurance benefit. You'll get a reduction in your insurance quotes if you have 4-point inspection. Have repairs completed prior to closing with payment made from the closing proceeds. Don't let any bills hang out there. Don't let the seller owe any money to anybody. The best way to do it is have the contractor submit their invoices to the title company, and the title company will pay them out of the seller's proceeds before they give the seller the rest of his money. On a side note, if you're a seller, and you might enjoy a nickel's worth of free advice about dealing with your buyers, you might enjoy one of our other videos listed below. I'll give you some heads up with how to deal with your buyers a little more aggressively. As always, if you enjoyed this video or learned anything from its content, please hit the appropriate buttons and leave us a comment below. I promise to reply to all of them. Thank you. Event number 11, the closing agent will order a survey. This is the last thing that's done because the survey is the responsibility of the closing agent. If nobody pays it, the closing agent has to do it. So the closing agent, once they order a survey, you know you're good to go. Event number 12, you'll get the okay to close from both the mortgage broker and the title agent, and you're getting set. You're so close now you can almost taste it. Step number 13, you'll complete a pre-closing walkthrough. I don't expect this to happen to you, but what happened to me in one of my closings, I was buying a house for my wife and my family, and the seller changed the refrigerator. Now, I couldn't swear to it, but it was a different refrigerator. My wife did swear to it. So just some advice, when you're going through your house, when you're ready to buy it and ready to make an offer, go ahead and shoot a couple pictures of the appliances just to make sure they don't grow legs and you end up with something that you didn't expect. Step number 14, Yahoo, time to close.
One final strike. You'll force Big Earn to roll 3 consecutive strikes in order.
At the closing, you'll sign out the closing statements and a slew of mortgage documents that you can't change even if you wanted to. So go ahead and sign them. You get the keys from the seller at the closing, transfer water, power, internet, and garbage. And last of all, thank you very much for your attention.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
And until next time, this is Alfred Einstein wishing you all a great week. It's just to make sure they don't grow legs.
Dancing, walking, rearranging furniture.